Hey everyone, I think it's time for a pop-up. What do you think? Time for a pop-up. Pop up. Let's win. Yes, many years ago, when I was in high school, of course you would suspect I was a cheerleader. Time for a touchdown. Let's win. I'm sure some of you ladies out there can relate to that. Time for a pop-up. Let's win. Okay, so what's going on is I just dropped my cards. Hang on. It's a cold day here in New England. I had to turn the heat on. I'm looking at a lot of different things that are going on, and where shall I start? I have observed, I'm going to start here. And we meet tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a PNN night, Psychic News Network night. So join us for the live stream. This is just a teaser. I've been observing that Dumpy is getting very combative and reactive, more than usual. I know he's like that anyway, right? We all know that. But more than usual, he's extra agitated, extra defensive. If he could be doing any more projecting, you know, he is projecting more than ever too, and really abhorrent. If you saw any of the video of him this afternoon with the president of South Africa, and I bet a lot of you have, you'll be taken aback. He's acting like somebody, to me, who knows he did wrong and is trying to attack you before you attack him in a certain way. Now, behind me, I have my gift from Kathy Beale, which is almost burned down, called Plot Twist. And I'll let that go for now. And let's ask the pendulum, are we in a time of a plot twist? Meaning he doesn't win so much anymore. Are we in the midst of a plot twist? No. Okay, maybe I'll be clearer. Is he nervous about being caught? Yes, he's nervous about being caught about something. Is one of those things he's nervous about, because I get that it's definitely more than one. Is he nervous about the truth about the 2024 election coming to light? Is he nervous about that? I mean, I noticed that I mentioned this around Jimmy Carter's funeral time when he was seated behind Kamala at the church, and she ignored him completely. Good for her, of course. Anyone would do the same thing, I would think. But he kept staring at her like his eyes were boring into her skull. It just felt like he was trying to find out if she knew. That's what I psychically picked up. It's my psychic impression based on what I just pick up. And the president of South Africa was, I mean, this is like the 5th meeting in the Oval Office where the world leader, the country leader, whatever country it is just taken aback. Like, what is this? And for that matter, you know, I know that it's all over mainstream media. They're bashing Biden. It's preposterous. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. It's vile. Which is why I read the Biden-Harris achievements yesterday to the tune of 22 videos. So please listen to those. They're short. They're 15 minutes. Listen to them. When they had that debate last June 27th, when afterwards Biden was under all this pressure to drop out, he could have done it. He could have kept going. He could have finished the job. But mainstream media at that point had just pummeled him really to death in a certain way. And I'm mentioning this because Biden, during that debate, was taken aback. I knew that he didn't feel well. He reportedly had a cold, and there was so much pressure. It was just so unfair. It was so grossly unfair. It was such a mismatch. In terms of Biden is a decent human being. He behaved decently because that's who he is, and Dumpy was dumping all these lies, like a constant diarrhea of the mouth of lies. And Biden was aghast, understandably so. And we called that the Gish Gallop. There's actually a term for it when you overwhelm your opponent with just too much flying at you. And I talked about that at length at that time while I was making manicotti. You can go back and find that video. A lot of you remember that. The president of South Africa was aghast. And this started with, I think, the first leader of a country meeting in the Oval Office with Dumpy was, I think it was Zelensky. So that's what kicked off the year. I've never seen people just treat one another like that, honestly, unless I was at the bar and it was late and somebody got too drunk. But anyway, let's pull 3 cards about what was going on there, but mostly why he's being so reactive and so flying off the handle. And I'm sorry, but I have to say it. He looks like a lizard to me. He looks like a Komodo dragon. Is that what they call them? I think so. Like some people have those pet lizards. I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you that he resembles a lizard. He's not behaving like a human being. So I'm going to pull 3 cards about what's going on with him. This video will not be too long. You have to join us tonight. This is a teaser. I love the Constitution. Need to move out of the way. I got Biden Harris on the left. I've got I love the Constitution. When you do listen to me reading the Biden Harris achievements, you will be astounded. But you might find it hopeful too, because once we get rid of the fascists, once we oust them, not in 4 years. Not in 4 years. Way, way exponentially sooner than that. The groundwork has been laid for America to be amazing again. The irony of all their MAGA slogans that we should be saying, make America great again, we'd never use that, obviously, but that's what we have to do. So what's going on with him? Yeah, the Queen of Wands. I've been getting the Queen of Wands frequently over the past week or two, and that indicates a powerful woman with information. Doesn't mean she'd come at him with the information, but she knows the information, and the information will be out there. The Page of Cups is somebody, this feels like a reporter from another country who's quite brave and who comes out with the message. But it feels like since he's not from America, he's in safe territory in terms of, Dumpy can't really send anyone after him. Can't believe I'm talking like this in the United States of America. The Two of Pentacles. Dumpy doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's like, do they know? Do they not know? Do they know that the election was rigged, or do they not know? Now, he declared that it was on more than one occasion, and he talked about how Elon helped especially in the swing states. Because, you know, Elon knows all about that computer stuff. He literally just came out with it. Remember, I'm calling him Dumpy all the time. Remember, he was dressed like a garbage man with weird orange makeup on, and he got into a garbage truck with the name Trump plastered on it a few days before the election. So, the Kremlin talked about it. Elon openly was bribing people or extorting people or whatever you want to call it, to interfering. He was interfering in the election. And I do think that Dumpy thinks that behind the scenes something might be going on. That's a strong yes. He feels like behind the scenes he's suspecting that something might be going on. All right. I'm actually going to read next on Marco Rubio because I don't really understand why he... Now, as I'm speaking about this, I'm noticing a commonality. Unhinged. Marco Rubio is acting unhinged. And shame on him, who came from an immigrant family, and I do believe that he was a little boy that escaped Cuba. Humana. He what and just what I'm seeing in these hearings is the Democrats are coming down hard on these illegitimate people that are in these important positions. And they're, rather than answering the questions, they're doing that snow plowing over them. There's a word for it. They call it filibustering. You know, the Democrats are saying, don't filibuster me. But Marco Rubio was off the rails. And so I'm wondering, see, it's the same kind of thing. Is Marco Rubio going through the same thing, being nervous that he's going to get caught? Yes. He knows what he's doing is grossly illegal. When did we ever send people out to foreign countries to concentration camps? And he's trying to justify it. And I heard him saying before that they were looking at other countries to see which ones could accommodate them shipping people to concentration camps in other countries. Can you say demonic? 3 cards about Marco Rubio, and then I'll let you go and we'll reconvene tonight. Many more questions to be answered. 9 of Pentacles. He's afraid that they're going to find the money trail. That's what Marco Rubio is afraid. He's afraid that somebody's investigating the money trail. This has to do with human trafficking. I mean, I'm asking the question, why are we sending people out of the country to concentration camps? Why do we not know some of their whereabouts? It's terrible. It's just terrible. So I feel like Marco Rubio is worried that there's going to be a money trail that somebody's sniffing like a hound dog, sniffing and finding where the money trail is. Unbelievable. So I'll leave you with that for now. Psychic News Network is live streamed Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. My business here depends on your donations and your memberships and booking readings. And when you're a member, you get to partake of my classes that are set to members only. So if you're a member, make sure you check that out. We'll see you tonight. Namaste. We're getting there. We will get there. We will save our country. We are saving our country. So here's your thing to say. Thank you, universe, that we've saved democracy. And so it is. See you soon. Bye.